When we hear the word saint, the first thought that springs into our minds is either a holy man or a woman clasping their hands in prayer, with their faces glowing and their eyes lifted up to heaven. And then we get the far-off impression that they've achieved great things. We think that we can never be like that. It's way too difficult, and we start giving up. But that's not the way things really were with the saints. Of course, some were brave and courageous, like St. Joan of Arc. Some spent hours in prayer on their knees, like St. Faustina. Some could bilocate and had visions, like St. Padre Pio, and some went around the streets caring for the poor and sick, like Mother Teresa. But there was one saint, St. Therese of Lisieux, who admitted that she couldn't do any of those things at all, at least, not without God's help. She wrote that she was worthless and weak, and yet she is now one of the greatest saints of all times. How? Well, the path she used to become a saint was a small, simple one, and she was the first one to discover it. She named it the Little Way. Near the end of her life, Therese explained her little way to her sister, and this became part of her autobiography, Story of a Soul. The little way is where a person completely surrenders themselves and all of their actions to God, believing that they can't do anything without Him. And best of all, it consists of doing little things with great love. St. Therese said, "Miss no single opportunity of making some small sacrifice, here by a smiling look, there by a kindly word, always doing the smallest right, and doing it all for love." For example, even just washing the dishes without complaining, making your bed in the morning, holding a door open for someone. If you do these things with love, then they become great in the eyes of God. When St. Therese was given the task by her superior of directing other novices in their spiritual lives, she decided to tell them about the little way. But when she did tell them about it, the novices argued that it seemed too easy, too simple. The little way is simple, but not always easy, St. Therese tried to explain. If you follow it, it means giving up your pride. Nothing is harder than that. But some still protested that the way to become a saint is to say long and fervent prayers and to perform difficult sacrifices, like we think sometimes. They gave examples of many saints who had done these things. Yes, that is true, St. Therese said. These souls took the great way to God, but too many people will not be able to imitate their example. For these people, the little way is best. Once, a novice asked Therese how she had chanced upon the little way. Therese happily began to explain. When I was trying to walk for the first time, I found it hard to mount the stairs. I would manage to take one step, then I would call to my mother. If she answered me, I would pick up courage and advance to the next step. But if she didn't, I would lose confidence and wouldn't try anymore. There were other times when my mother would take pity on my poor attempts to reach her. Then I didn't have to struggle at all, for she came downstairs and carried me to the top. The novice was puzzled. What did any of that have to do with the little way? So St. Therese told her, climbing stairs is hard for children, but it is always easy to be carried to the top. So instead of facing all the various difficulties in life by ourselves, we should fling ourselves into God's arms and let Him guide us completely. In this way, we admit outwardly how useless we are. So raise your foot and try to climb the stairway of sanctity, St. Therese instructed all the other novices, but do not imagine you will be able to go up even the first step. God only asks for your good intentions. He watches you lovingly at the top of the stairway, and soon His love will be conquered by your vain efforts, and He will come down Himself to carry you up the rest of the way. The little way calls for total surrender, total submission, total reliance on God. It calls for humility.